I have a controversial book opinion. Hello, welcome back to Christy Grace Scarlet Pen. I have just read my first Taylor Jenkins-Reid book, and I have some opinions. I think I have quite a controversial take on this book, and that is Daisy Jones and the Six. So this is becoming a TV series. I think it's releasing in like a couple of days, so by the time this video comes out, it will probably already be out in Australia. I bought this cover because I liked it a lot better than the one I've seen just practically everywhere else. Although it does have one of these can't remove it stickers with Evelyn Hugo on it, which I'm not interested to read. Almost everyone I hear talk about this book really seems to like it. I did not. I did not like this book whatsoever. Let's talk about why. I have done a more in-depth review on my thoughts about this book and the characters, which hopefully will be up on my website, christygracescarletpen.com. /blog if you want to find the actual blog post. So I've done a lot more in-depth in that. So I'm just going to briefly go over my points of why I just did not like this book at all. Like at all. I feel like there was almost no redeemable qualities for me. The one thing that I did like, Taylor Jenkins-Reid has a really great writing style. I liked that. I liked her structure, setting it out like interviews, and it flowed really well. That is basically the only thing that I can say I liked about this book though, because I hated all of the characters, the plot was dumb, and I'm just really, really uninterested in reading a book like this at the moment. So, well, at all, ever. When I'm reading a book about, a romance, or I'm reading a book about a contemporary situation or a crime or whatever, I don't want it to be like this. So some of this is going to come down to just personally, this is not my kind of vibe. I don't like using that word, but it's just not what I like to read. This book is, if you haven't heard about Daisy Jones and the Six, because apparently, you live under a booktube rock, it is essentially a story about a band that was popular in the 70s, Daisy Jones and the Six. And it sort of is the story of their rise to fame and then their fall and how they just sort of ended. It's written almost really sort of like an interview book. I liked that. I did like that. I said that before. The reason I didn't like it, apart from, okay, look, I am not into the drugs, rock and roll vibes, okay? No, like I'm not into that. I am just so uninterested to read about heavy drug abuse and drug use. Just so uninterested. Alcoholism, heavy drug abuse, just was so not feeling it. I didn't like that aspect that Taylor explored of the music business. I do know that some of the music business can be like that. I'd like to think that not all of it. I do know musicians. I know people who are in sort of the music space. They aren't like that. So, and it's not like that for them. So it just was frustrating. I know the 70s were a different time as well. But I didn't want that story. I didn't want the story of people who are abusing drugs and getting drunk all the time, sleeping around with anything on two legs. Like, I just am not even close to interested in that story. And when you add on top of that the utter selfishness of practically every single character in this book, I just was unimpressed. Almost every single character for me in this book was unlikable. They were all selfish. They were all ridiculous. Like, they all made the dumbest choices searching after something so fleeting like fame, which is the stupidest. That's just my view on chasing after fame, is just stupid. But all of these characters were so selfish and so idiotic. I just didn't like any of them by the end of the book. The only person I actually liked was Simone, who was Daisy's best friend, who basically dragged her away from a toxic situation and was like, get your butt out of here, let's go. And she was basically the only person who had any sense. I was so disappointed reading this book. I was so disappointed. I wanted to like it. I just didn't. I think that relationships which are unilaterally made decisions is selfish. I think relationships where you clearly are growing feelings for somebody, but you don't want to admit it to yourself, so you just keep in the same situation instead of running far away, is stupid. I think that having a inflated sense of self-worth and self-importance is stupid. And I think that basically everyone in this book was selfish, mean, arrogant, and just plain dumb. I was interested to know how the band came up, how it, flatlined. But I didn't care about these characters, which meant I didn't care about the plot. I ended this book totally apathetic. I didn't care one way or the other what happened to the characters. I didn't care one way or the other what happened to anything. And to be honest, ending was just cliched. I was really disappointed with Daisy Jones and the Six. I won't just give up on her writing altogether because of this book, but I am going to carefully pick and choose the books that I read from her, because there are a lot of authors who are like this. Subtly push feminism. Oh my gosh. I'm pretty bummed about it, to be honest. But there you go. My first Taylor Jenkins-Reid, phenomenal flop for me. Do you actually like Daisy Jones and the Six? Please share in the comments why. Please explain to me why it was good. Maybe I'll agree with you, maybe I won't, but let me know. Please, please, please. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the adventures.